by the county commission, as well as the county treasurer and the county clerk, to officiate over this meeting today. As a judge, there's certain things I can do and certain things I can't do. And I had checked with the folks at the Office of Removal, Retirement, and other bad things that basically determine whether or not I have violated any sort of judicial canon. And I can discuss matters concerning the law, the administration of justice, and the legal system. And we're here to talk a little bit about the county budget today. I'm here to talk about it, perhaps. And I believe that that falls within that, and they did too, to the level that I'm going to speak about it today. It comes as no surprise, and I'm not going to tell anybody here anything that they probably don't already know about the revenue, your budgets, or anything else. I anticipate that this will probably be the shortest elected officials meeting that we've ever had, for those of you who have to go to your wife's college graduation, or anything else this afternoon, or anything pretty much past about 3:20 probably. Yeah, check your watches now. You can quote me on that, because the next time you hear a lawyer give a crime estimate and they actually follow it, I'll give you $1. Of course, I won't be able to. That violates a canon someplace, but I'd like to. And fortunately or unfortunately, I'm known for my sense of humor, and that's probably the last funny thing I'm going to say the rest of the time here. So we're all done with that part. Revenues are down. We all know that. Revenues are down in the month of April, which actually these are figures for the March sales tax revenues, 15.5%. March figures, which reflect February sales tax, down 10.9%, as we'll call it 11%. I'm going to provide you today with a chart that I have here that's going to show sales tax trends for the months all the way back to 2005. And one of the things you're going to see on there is that the trend for a negative sales tax in 2009 started to get really ugly in May. And we're sitting in April now. And that doesn't mean that it's going to be that way this year, but I'm not here to either hang crepe or tell you that it's a bright sunny day. Thank God it is actually a bright sunny day today. I'm also going to provide you with what Ms. Luck has provided, which is showing the general fund budgets for expenditures and revenues. The bottom line on this, folks, is that revenues are down, and tapping into the general revenue fund is something that the county commission is going to have to look at. When they asked me to speak about this today, they basically wanted me to come in and present these numbers. Anybody could have done this, but present these numbers, and also perhaps present some scenarios on how we might be able to help. We all know what we can do, and we all know what legally can't be done at this point. We all know. The issue becomes, what can we do as elected officials? For Judge Dildine and if Judge B were here, there'd be 3 attorneys in the courtroom, and we'll tell you that, I could still call this a courtroom, that when we were in law school, our first year of law school, as you sat down on the first day, the professor said, look to your left, look to your right. Somebody's not going to be here next year. Same applies here. Either because of elections coming up, because voluntary retirement, leaving office, call it whatever you want, which, by the way, I'm not retiring according to myself or the Bank of Monroe. Okay, I said 2 times. So, as you look around, there's folks that aren't going to be here. You know whether you're going to be here next year or not, for the most part. The other side of the coin on this is, we still have 8 months of this year to serve as public officials and elected officials for Lincoln County. When we took office, all of us took an oath, and in it said, and I faithfully demean myself in the office of. The demeaning part is now here. The issue becomes working together as opposed to trying to work against each other. Now there are those of us, me for one, I have no budget. I have a trash can that's worth $10. Elaine knows that. That's all I have as far as resources that I brought into this office. My budget comes under Judge Dildine's office, but I've not submitted a budget to him. I don't use it. I'm paid by the state, which is another issue. There are those of us who are paid salary-wise by the state, but we obviously fall under the county as far as who pays our bills, who pays our electric. Working together, and it may seem simplistic, is going to be the best possible way that we can make it through these next 8 months and as we look towards 2011 and beyond. We need to start looking at that now, not come November or December when we start looking at budgets for the next year. Working together means not just the people in this room. We all have staff or employees. And you know, and I know, and I heard it today from at least 4 people at the Justice Center. What's this meeting about today? What are you guys going to do? I've heard blah, 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 blah. The best part is I heard they were going to do this today, and I said, I can assure you they're not going to do that. Because I'm the one running the meeting, and that's not happening today. All we're doing is discussing the budget. Those people, those staff members that we work with, have a lot of ideas that we need to start tapping into on ways to, yes, let's use the word, cut expenditures. Reduce our payments, reduce our fees. Reduce what we are trying to expend at this point. I don't care whether it's turning the electric off, paper clips, which by the way I don't think the county should ever buy a paper clip ever again, because I know I have about 40,000 of them in my desk drawer now, and I think that'll work for a real long time. Paper clips seem silly, and I'm not trying to be a naive with this, but there are ways in which all of us can look to our staff, work to the people that we work with, in ways that we can cut down on what we're spending. Tighten our belts, call it whatever you want to. Nobody in this room, nobody out in those hallways or the hallways over at the Justice Center want to lose their job. They don't want to take a pay cut either, and we all know that. Neither do we. What we do over the next few months is going to affect what's going to happen in 2011. And the efforts that we can make now, and I know that I have spoken just ever so briefly with Grace. The circuit clerks, I consider myself perhaps more one of them than a judge. We get together a lot. We get together for lunches and that sort of thing. Sometimes they're just for fun, sometimes they're to throw out various ideas. A lunch is coming to talk about this meeting today and what we can do there to cut back on expenditures. And like I said, it's everything from turning out lights to checking with Randy, checking with Sam to see how cool the building needs to be or how warm the building needs to be. And again, it's $10 there and $50 here and $200 there. And those amounts build up.